Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let me provide you with a brief overview of the progress of the implementation of the single operation. Timo mentioned that we have now reached the cruising mode, but for the EGTC it means that we are finalizing the first activities, we are running the ones that are ongoing, we are launching the new ones, and we're also planning the next year, and all of this at the same time. So it actually is getting more and more difficult with every next seminar for me to present everything that we are doing, because at the moment we are running 40 different research activities, and we also have 40 approximately different outreach activities. So it is a lot for the EGTC team to handle with, but for that reason, I have to say a big thank you to all our research teams and to everyone who supports the implementation of the single operation representing our network. So let me give you then a brief, some highlights on our work. So basically in our daily activities, we are trying to promote the role of ESPON in capacity building for better policy making, for better governance, and our results, our products, they should serve, and they do serve, all stages of policy development, from problem framing to policy design, through policy implementation, and up to monitoring and evaluation stage. And we do so with different products that we have, as you know, our applied research results, our targeted analysis results. They allow policymakers to frame the problematics, to understand the challenges, territorial development trends, patterns, diversity around Europe. We also have TIA as our bestseller that allows also to assess the ex-ante territorial implications of policies. Then in the framework of outreach through our publications and events, we promote learning, exchange of knowledge, and also capacity building of our stakeholders, trying to define their own policy development pathways. And of course, we are also, as you know, currently working on macro-regional monitoring tools, and also some developing data that can also support eventually monitoring and evaluation activities of our policymakers. So basically, we are covering the whole policy cycle with different products, and increasingly, of course, outreach for us becomes a major and a very important component of our work, because this is the main type of activity that allows us to actually reach out to wider stakeholder groups, to reach out to new stakeholder groups, and to promote their learning. Of course, a very important starting point for all our capacity building activities are the research results. And this brings me to the slide where I name the 7 research activities that will be finalized in the course of this year. And this will give us an opportunity to discuss the results already during the next seminar. And you see that we will finalize a number of SO2 activities, a number of targeted analysis. Also, we will finalize the activity on spatial planning systems, Compass, and also the activity on TIA tool upgrade or update should be finalized in the course of this year. At the same time, we have also prepared for launching new applied research activities. You see the titles. The topics have also been pre-announced on the ESPON website. So you will soon, basically in the course of June, you will see the announcements and invitations to submit tender proposals. One of them will come a bit later. This is the interregional relations in Europe, because for that one we will test a new public procurement procedure that is called the competitive dialogue, which will then will then result in a later launch of this call. Moving on to targeted analysis, we are currently working with 102 single stakeholders that are involved in the targeted analysis with ESPON, and we are very happy for this result. They currently represent 28 countries of what we call the ESPON space. And we have, in the past months, launched the targeted analysis that have been selected in the second half of last year. So one on potentials of big data for integrated territorial policy development, another one on maritime spatial planning and land-sea interactions. Then we have also kicked off a targeted analysis on territorial impact assessment for cross-border cooperation. And in the coming weeks, we will also kick off the activity on improving rural-urban connectivity in non-metropolitan regions. Then we also have the next targeted analysis in the pipeline. After the cutoff date of January this year, we have selected three stakeholder proposals, and here you can see the topics. So one is on adapting European cities to population aging, another one is on port city regeneration, and the third one on urban circular collaborative economy in relation to cultural dimensions of multi-level policy. We are preparing to launch calls for tenders also for these three, and this should happen in the course of June. I would like to also draw your attention that the call for proposals for targeted analysis is continuously open, and we are approaching the next cutoff date, that is the 22nd of June this year. And after this cutoff date, we will select 3 more targeted analyses that will be launched also in the course of this year. And I would like to invite everyone who is thinking of submitting a proposal to us, please finalize your proposals, submit them, and we will be very happy to work with you if you're interested in certain policy developments in your countries, in your cities, or in your regions. Since the beginning of this year, we also organized a number of territorial impact assessment workshops, and here you see also the subjects that have been covered. And here I would like to highlight that we also started applying, our research team has started applying also the new functionalities of the upgraded tool that is related to cross-border impact assessment and to urban impact assessment, because this was also one of the objectives of this upgrade, is to include new functionalities, new elements in this tool. As part of you who participated in the workshop in this room in the morning of this day learned, we are also now working on developing European and macro-regional monitoring tools, so basically a European monitoring tool to cover the whole Europe, and also for macro-regional monitoring tool. And here we have a very strong participatory approach, as Sandra explained to you, and we will develop these tools, of course, in very close cooperation with macro-regional authorities and also the European Commission, DG Regio. As I mentioned, we are trying to promote the role of ESPON in capacity building, and of course we do so mainly in the framework of our outreach activities by preparing publications and giving the floor and opportunity for everyone to discuss our policy advice, to also verify its relevance. And in the course of the 2 days of this seminar, you have heard about the key messages from our policy brief on governance, planning and financial tools in support of polycentric development. Also, this morning you had an opportunity to have a separate workshop on indicators for integrated territorial and urban development. These 2 policy briefs were prepared at the initiative of the Bulgarian presidency and also discussed within the intergovernmental network on territorial cohesion and urban matters. Also, we have prepared a separate policy brief on the territorial dimension of future policies to also support the debate on the important elements that should guide the design of the future European and national and regional policies from the territorial perspective. You have all these publications in the back of the room, and of course they are all available also online on the ESPON website. We have 4 more policy briefs in the pipeline, and most probably to be prepared in the course of this year. And of course we will use the results of our research activities to prepare those, and again give an opportunity for our stakeholders in different formats to discuss the key findings and also policy advice coming as a result of our research activities. So one will be on inner peripheries, another one on migration and refugees that will be prepared in cooperation with our colleagues of Interact. And then 2 more will be focused on cross-border public services and territorial potentials for green infrastructure. So you will hear more from ESPON in terms of new publications in the course of this year on different subjects. In the framework of our outreach strategy, what is important for us, of course, is to reach out to new audiences, to new stakeholder groups, to new groups of policymakers who can and potentially find ESPON research useful. And basically, since the start of the year, we have managed to engage with new stakeholder groups. We have, for example, we have presented the results of inner peripheries and territorial futures at Agri-Research Conference, therefore also increasing the visibility of ESPON among policymakers who are engaged on rural development policies. We have also established closer contacts and also cooperation with OECD and presented the results of our research activities on SMEs, employment dynamics and FDI flows at the previous meeting of the OECD, the Regional Development Policy Committee, also reaching out to new people who could learn more about the work of ESPON. Also, we are working closely with of course, DG Regio, but also DG Grow and DG Trade, presenting our results or related, for example, to FDI, with a focus on SME internationalization, to the respective DGs, and the results of this particular study will also be used in the economic seminar series and also the annual report on European SMEs that will be prepared by DG Grow and DG Trade. And of course, we are working not only at a pan-European level within our outreach activities, we are working also at at the scale of more specific geographies, and in particular, we also contribute usually to the forums, macro-regional development forums from different perspectives, also using the results of our research on migration, on macro-regional monitoring tools, etc., etc. And then, of course, we are experimenting with new formats, new ways, how to increase the visibility of ESPON and how to ensure our remote presence, because I have to be honest with you, it has become also quite difficult to positively reply to all invitations to attend different events. And some of those events also are very far away. For example, we were invited to participate in the UN Habitat Forum in Kuala Lumpur. And then we decided that no, we are not going there, but in any case, we would like to contribute also to a global discussion on the integrated territorial development. So we recorded and sent a video, and the feedback was very positive. And at the same time, we also, in the same format of a video with a statement on our understanding on the importance of green economy, contributed also to a forum, to a conference that was organized for the Apennine region. And as some of you have already understood, we will do more of that type of activities. Some of you kindly agreed also in the framework of this seminar to record a video at our invitation to also help us to present our results and to make them more visible, so that people have an opportunity not only to read our publications, but also to listen to us who prepared those publications, and also to listen to the feedback of the stakeholders. Basically, we have started and will continue to use you also as ambassadors to communicate our messages to the wide audiences, and I very much appreciate your contribution and your cooperation in this field. We will also start this year a new type of activity to also again stimulate our role in capacity building field, that is called peer learning workshops. The first one will be organized at the initiative of Riga Planning Region in mid-June, and there we will bring stakeholders who are engaged in metropolitan development planning, and 3 stakeholders from SPIMA research activity, one of our targeted analysis on metropolitan governance that has just been finalized. They will assist, they will contribute to developing the thinking around metropolitan development and planning of the stakeholders in the Riga city and also Riga planning region. So basically, we will engage also more actively in bringing stakeholders together and helping them to learn from each other on the basis of their experiences and also on the basis of the results of ESPON's research activities. And therefore, we think that also our contribution to capacity building will become even more targeted, and we hope that will also allow us to achieve even better results. On 14th of November this year, in London, we will organize a scientific conference, the ESPON scientific conference that was foreseen also in the multi-annual work program. It is taking place in London, not for any political reasons. The reason is that there will be an RSA winter conference organized in London also, and we have decided to again increase the visibility and also to pool additional resources. We decided to organize it back to the RSA winter conference. And this will be aimed at promoting the use of new methodologies and concepts to support better and improve territorial analysis and policy making. And we will focus on 3 aspects. Basically, we'll focus on methods and concepts that are able to capture territorial interrelations. And as we discussed yesterday, there is still a shortage of methodologies and approaches that can be used to understand different flows and interactions among places. Another aspect would be related to methodologies, potentials to monitor and measure integrated territorial development, and the third aspect would be focused on using new data sources and tools for territorial analysis. And another more conceptual aspect will be focused around the policy questions that still have to be asked by the territorial research, that maybe have not been asked before, that have not been studied before, or maybe have not been studied sufficiently. We will very soon announce a call for papers, and we'll invite researchers both working for ESPON currently and also who would like to cooperate with ESPON in the future to submit their papers, and more information about that will be available on the ESPON website very soon. And finally, also we have submitted our proposals for this year's European Week of Regions and Cities, and ESPON will be involved and also organize 6 workshops in the framework of European Week of Regions and Cities. At some point we might contact you also to invite you to support these workshops, but in any case, when you register, then please take note of those workshops where ESPON will take the lead or will contribute to, and we invite you all very warmly to participate and to continue contributing to our common debate on those subjects. That's all from my side. Thank you very much.